Hello, 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 everyone. Happy Friday. I'm Claire Jones, if we haven't already met, and I'm an author and small publisher committed to changing the world for the better through inclusive stories and practices. And I am jumping on today for my self-published author series where I go over how to write, self-publish, and start selling your book in 52 weeks. And if you're joining me, please like, comment, share, let us know that you're here, no matter what platform you're finding this on. And today we're going to continue with research needs to make sure that we have all of the knowledge, resources, facts, figures, charts, graphs, examples, people, or anything else that we need to write this book that we have on our goal list. So, if you're interested in the full rundown of what I'm discussing today, check out my almost 300-page self-published author 52-week planner. The digital version is available now. The physical version just got shipped off to my printers today, so they should be able to ship out soon. And yeah, let's jump on in. So, for research needs. If you are writing a fantasy book that uses a lot of cultural influences from ancient Egypt, you are going to need to spend time researching them. If you're writing a book about the intricacies of accounting for small businesses, you will need to gather charts on federal, state, and local tax codes. If your main character is an environmental science professor, you will need to interview relevant professors in order to find out what their actual day-to-day lives are like. If you're writing about the history of gratitude practices, you will need to provide examples of practices that have been used over the years. Personally, I use a journal where I keep track of each of my book projects, the characters of each project and their descriptions, the settings of each project, the world-building timelines of each project, as well as any relevant maps, ideas, questions, or plot points. In the writing world, there are typically two camps of people that comes to this researching, plotting stage. There are plotters and there are pantsers. So a pantser is someone who flies by the seat of their pants, meaning that they don't plan out anything in their story or plan very little in their story. A plotter, on the other hand, is someone who plans out their book before they write it. Some people are more comfortable with the ambiguous freedom that comes with pantsing, and some people prefer the certainty that of having everything laid out ahead of time with plotting. I personally am somewhere in the middle, a plantser, if you will. So I've used both methods over the years, and personally I find that I tend towards pantsing when I'm writing fiction and plotting when I'm writing nonfiction. So for example, I drafted out the entirety of the self-published author planner with the plotting method. I simply pasted all of the relevant information that I knew I wanted to cover in a general outline and then edited it as a whole. But for my novels, I have a general idea of the plot in my head when I start writing, but the draft itself is written sentence by sentence and word by word. Whenever I do need to research things, I do it while I'm writing that particular scene, but I also have a general idea of what I will need to look up before I begin writing, which is why we need this list of research needs to start with, just so that we have an idea of what we're going to need to look up as we write this book. So I'm not asking you to choose a camp right at this moment, plotting versus pantsing, but I wanted to plant the seed in your head so that as you start writing, you get a feel for which method you prefer. There is no right answer, just be prepared either way. You just have to have an idea of where your gaps are in your knowledge, in your information, in your resources, so that you have a plan for tackling that when the issue comes up. You don't want to be surprised by long research tasks in the middle of writing. You want to just be able to sit down and write. So planning these out ahead of time really helps make you more efficient in your writing sessions. So that's pretty much it for today. If you're interested in learning more, check out the planner, linktree/ClaireJoynes for all of those links. And next time I'll be jumping on to talk about setting up your writing sessions to make sure that we can maximize the creative process when we do sit down to write. And I will be taking a break next week. I'm going home to visit family for a week. So It's going to kind of be radio silent over here for a couple days, but I will be back the next week to continue this series. But in the meantime, please remember that you all have extraordinary stories inside of you, and I'm here rooting for you as you use them to change the world for the better. So take care, everyone, and I'll see you in 2 weeks.